Two-wheel drive Nissan Frontier rear differentials fluid service. I'm Brian Esser from How to Automotive. I'm going to walk you step by step through the process of changing out the differential fluid. You're going to need to get underneath the vehicle and have a catch pan or an oil pan to catch the fluid. You're going to need a 14mm Allen socket to remove the fill plug. You always want to remove the fill plug first. That way if there's any problems with the fill plug, you don't take out the drain plug and you can still drive your vehicle. So now that we got the fill plug removed, we're going to need our bucket underneath the differential, and directly vertical coming up, you're going to need a 10mm Allen socket, and right here is the drain plug. You want to make sure that that Allen socket is fully seated in that drain plug before you start loosening it. Those are easily stripped bolts. So once the fluid starts draining out, you want to inspect it to make sure that it's not like a dark gray charcoal color. You want to see a little bit amber looking texture and look to it. If you see a dark black or gray colored fluid, you suspect a differential problem. Now while it's draining, you want to inspect the differential drain plug. There's a magnet on the end of it. You want to look for large metal chunks. If there's metal chunks on it, there could be bigger problems, and you may want to pull the cover and inspect deeper into that. Small metal shavings on the end of it is normal. That's a normal condition. So you want to go ahead and clean that up and go ahead and change out the washer. I will link it up in the description of the video. So go ahead and install the aluminum crush washer, and after that you can just thread the drain plug back into the bottom of the differential. You want to run it in until it's snug. So you're going to run it in until it's fully snug, and once it's snug, we're going to switch over to our ratchet, and then we're going to tighten this up until it's snug. And in about a quarter turn more, you'll feel the crush washer crush down a little bit. You don't need to bear down on it super tight. Just feel that washer crush down a little bit. After that, we're going to fill it with 75/90 full synthetic gear oil. I will link this up in the description of the video. You're going to need about 2 quarts of this. So I have to do a little prep on the cap. So I have to take the little red cap off. I have to take the little seal that's on the inside of the bottle off. So you need to cut the tip off. And once you got the tip cut off, now you can go ahead and squeeze the fluid into the fill hole here. So you'll just pour it in or squeeze it until it's empty. It's going to take this one whole bottle completely and about half of a second bottle, but you don't want to overfill it until it's pouring out of the hole. The actual level is just below the fill hole here, and the way you check that is by taking your finger, and you're going to dip your finger into the hole and bend it slightly, and if there's fluid on there, then you're full enough. If there's dry, then you need to add a little bit. So I'm going to add a couple more ounces, and then I'll stick my finger back in the hole, and then I'll check to see if my finger makes contact with the fluid in the differential. So I'm going to double check here. So slightly bend my finger at an angle, and as you can see, I made contact there with the fluid, so I know it's full. So what we're trying to do is keep the threads dry of the gear oil. I got a little bit on there, so I'm going to use some brake clean on a rag, and I'm going to wipe the threads dry here. So I'm going to spray brake clean on the rag, wipe this all down, and get the threads as dry as I can possibly get them. I'm also going to dry the threads on the fill plug here. If you notice, it has silicone on the thread, so we're going to put a small dab of black silicone on it. I use the Right Stuff by Permatex. So we're going to put a thin little layer of silicone on the threads here, rub it in with your fingers, and this will prevent the fluid from leaking out of the fill plug here. So once we got a thin layer on there, we can screw it back in, and we're going to run it in with our 14mm Allen until it's snug. You'll feel it tighten up, and once it's snug, then you'll go about a quarter turn or so more. So everything you need to do this job will be linked in the description of the video, fluids and the washer. I'm Brian Esser from How to Automotive. I'd like to thank you guys for watching and encourage you to subscribe. Invite you to head over to the howtoautomotive.com website for more valuable videos like this. Thank you again for watching.